We had a couple of weeks off and we start our first video back down in England on the mighty River Trent in the pursuit of a couple of PB Barbel, a couple of PB Chub.
Just a Barbel. Just anything.
No, we always set targets.
Aye.
So you had a good start to last year, didn't you? PB after PB after PB.
No Barbel though.
No Barbel. And I had no Barbel either.
Big Chub and about 1 million bream last year.
Nice Chub, but
Very nice Chub. It was a good Chub.
so those eagle-eyed viewers that did watch that video will notice that I'm on the on the peg that he caught the big Chub from. So did you see that big bumblebee there?
That's the first bumblebee of the year. Spring is here.
Spring is here. So we've got the 2 rods out. Your rod licence in England, which you do need, allows us two rods each. So we're fishing a upstream rod with 4-ounce feeder sits, getting a hold bottom. The river is a lot higher than it was last year. So albeit what, 20 centimetres it was.
Makes a difference though.
Aye, I think last year we were using 2-ounce.
Yeah.
Now we're having to basically double that to hold bottom. Whilst we were setting up and getting everything organised and getting our bait delivered, that was nicer, getting your bait delivered. Alex has managed to catch, which is now standard practice for the first fish. Alex has had a daft bream straight off the bat there, so that's a bit windy today, so we're hoping our new fancy mics do us a turn and block out that wind. But we're here for how long? 3 days?
3 days.
You can tell he's buzzing about it, can't you?
We've been here for about 4 hours. Is it? Well, 3 hours maybe. What time is it?
11:15.
Aye, long time. Not much to show for it, so this might be tough.
Woke up at 12 o'clock this morning. Been a long day. I'm going in there for a gip just shortly.
Sounds good.
So we'll see how we go. We've got 3 pegs in mind we're going to try. As they call it, pegs down here. So we're going to try a different spot tomorrow. If my bivvy holds up, it looks ready to collapse there. And then we'll try another spot tomorrow, which we're told is
The banker,
the
apparently.
banker apparently.
We'll see.
Might end up with a couple of bankers.
The way our fishing's been going lately.
Cheers.
But nah,
We'll be back.
it has to change eventually.
Yeah, let's do.
River Trent, Barbel. We've been here before with mixed success. First couple of sessions we've done pretty well. Last year, not so well. But the approach that we're going to adopt is fairly similar to what we've done in the past. I think what I might have done wrong last year is maybe go a little bit too positive with maggots and ground bait. And that brought in a hell of a lot of bream. And I think I ended up this session with about 22 bream or something like that. So we're looking to avoid that today and maybe go a little bit more negative in terms of the feed. A little bit more sort of pellet heavy, but less of it. So we've got, like we said, a great selection of bait dropped off for us this morning. It's main lines, sort of barbel bum, big river barbel. And we've got a load of pellets here from 2 mils, 4, 6, right through to 10. I think we've got some 4s and 2s, and there's millions, more than we'll ever need. And yeah, we're going to kind of ram that feeder quite tight, filled with pellets, and maybe just feed a little bit extra over the top. But yeah, what we're looking for: 6 mils, get a few of those. I think what we'll do is basically we'll have more of the sort of smaller size of pellets. So 6mm will probably be the biggest size that we put in this. So just a couple of handfuls. And then as we go down through the sizes, we'll increase the number slightly. So a few 3s in there as well. And then we've also got 2s. Now what the 2s will help to do, with this sort of bigger sort of pellets, they don't bind together very well and they break up quite easily. We need it to kind of bind together fairly well because we're looking for that bait to stay in the feeder for as long as possible. So the 2s there hopefully will assist with that sort of binding property, and then some of the ground bait in there as well. So really it's just a hodgepodge, if you want to call it, of pretty much everything we've been given. I suppose if you really wanted to, you could add some hemp into that, but we'll go with this. Now the pellets do absorb quite a lot of water, but it's still important to just add a little at a time, as you would with any sort of ground bait. And with it being largely pellet based, it's not going to bind straight away, it's still going to be quite crumbly. So we need to give those pellets a little bit of time to take on some water, then hopefully it should bind together quite nicely. But while we're waiting for that, a little bit extra sauce. Big River Barbel. This tastes, well, I don't know what it tastes like, but it smells a little bit like bovril, a little bit like gravy. It's actually quite nice. But I'll put a glug of that in there as well. After 2 or 3 minutes it should start to bind together a little bit better. There we go, it's starting to do the trick now. And yeah, that'll be fished on our top rod, so our upstream rod, with a feeder. There's a fair bit of a flow, so I think Gordon mentioned we're fishing 4-ounce gripper feeders. And then on the same line, about 20 yards downstream, we'll just fish a single hook bait, just on a straight lead. Start quite negative with the feed, we don't want to put too much in if they're not really in the mood for it. But maybe every couple of hours, a couple more feeders over the top, and hopefully we'll get a fish.
Well, I'm not sure. Well, I'm not too sure how much Alex caught that in camera, but there's a phrase we use in barbel fishing for a bite. It was a screamer, and that was a screamer. Sat here all day trying to keep the bait going in every 2 hours. Just trying to keep the conditions are really, for us, quite tough with the wind. I had to put my bivvy down before it blew away. Just trying to keep positive and keep doing the right thing. And then to get that running, then it's absolutely heartbreaking that he didn't hook it. Aye. Losing a fish. Grim. Gutted. Alex into a fish. What is it but a chub or a daft bream? A wee barbel?
It's a chub.
A chub?
A chub. A little chub.
I think your mic's on.
Yes. Sure. Well, it's not going to break any records, but the way today's been going, we'll take that.
Right, let's go and get them looked at before we get another run. Feeding time.
Hopefully. Let's go have a look. So yeah, not massive by Trent Chub standards, but he's lovely condition. Lovely looking wee fish. Nice positive solid run there as well. It's a shame it wasn't a barbel, but hey, next best thing.
I'd have been delighted with it. And that common damage.
Yeah, a little bit of damage that.
Right, let's get them back.
He's around about the £3 mark, I think. Oh, he's not hanging around. Just a barbel now. Prime time, let's go. Well, last knocking's right enough. Absolute screamer. And it's on. I think this might be a barbel. We'll see, it's not doing much, but we'll see. Absolutely tore off. That ain't no bream.
Was that your up or down?
Down.
Is it?
Absolute screaming laugh. Now I've got a habit of losing these fish at this point. So I'm going to take this quite easy.
I let it run when it needs to.
The reason they just think it's never going to happen, it's never going to happen. And you stick it out, as we always say, to the last knockings wherever possible. He's not big, but you know what? I don't care. And he's in the net.
That is a barbel.
It is a barbel. It's a baby barbel, but it's a barbel. Right, we'll let him recover a wee bit. Take him up on the mat, have a look. And I'm ready for bed. So with all fish care is really important. But barbel in particular, they give a right good scrap. And in a big river like this, when there's a good bit of flow, you really need to make sure that the fish is recovered before releasing it. So we are going to take up onto the mat and get a wee look at him. But yeah, plenty of recovery before we take him up onto the mat, and plenty of recovery before we release him as well. And it's quite dark, it's kind of hard to see what size he is, but he doesn't look huge.
It's a barbel.
Yeah, it's a barbel. It's not a double, but it's a barbel. Right.
You want a photo of it?
Let's go and get a photo of this wee guy. Yeah, what a relief that was. I was set for blanking on these guys today.
They rub it in.
But there we have him. He's not big, he's only about 6 pounds. But hey, tough all day today. It's still blowing a gale. Yeah, perfect little fish, absolutely fin perfect. Lovely big tail. And those famous whiskers. Right, let's get him back. So day one, as difficult as it's been, has resulted in a Trent Grand Slam, a bream early on, a little chub, and then this little guy. Not a Grand Slam of grand proportions, but hey.
Starting to get a few.
Fish is fish. And this is where it's important, just to take your time. Even just let them sit in the net for a while. Phew. Right, beer.
No, I want one. Well, absolutely buzzing. It's not a barbel, but it's a blank saver. Please behave, please behave. When we were dealing with Alex's barbel, we thought we heard a beeping and an alarm, and my rod was sitting kind of funny. So I thought, right, time to call it a day. And I just felt the wee head knock, and I thought, yeah, someone. That coming up alright? I know. We'll not keep him out too long. Alex got a couple of photos for me, and then we'll get him back. It's harder with your way, doesn't it? Behave. Thank you, Chub. Now we can get a beer.
Well, here we go. Day 2. And it's just as, if not more, windy than it was yesterday. Not only that, it's forecast to absolutely chuck it down later on. So we're taking a gamble and we're going to take a walk, a mile-long walk along this track, down to the very bottom of the stretch, where we've heard that even we can catch fish. We'll see. But yeah, tough day yesterday. Let's see if we can redeem ourselves today. They weren't kidding when they said it was a bit of a walk. To think that just, 4 weeks ago, this whole field and the fields beyond it were under about a metre of water. You see the storm damage back there? I think it was Storm Babbitt. Made the right mess of it, and I think that's now why cars can't actually get along here. So the only way to get here is to walk, and we're hoping that's going to bode in our favour. Hopefully the fish will be hungry. We'll see. Oh, typical when it comes to popular venues. We've walked literally for a mile down that track. Got to where we were looking for. There's someone already there. So we'll just drop in upstream of them, I think. What a day. It is absolutely minging. I'm sure a wee bit of rain later will just make it even nicer. I think it's a barbel. Oh no, it's a barbel. I think it's a barbel. Hard to tell in that wind. Yeah. Yeah, this feels fairly heavy. Stuck in something? Or is it just really big? I think it's a big fish. Can I keep her up? Yeah.
Red eye.
Yep. Yeah, that's a nice fish, I think. This just feels heavy. But there is a big snag out in front of me, so I'm kind of careful of that. Oh, that's a proper one, I think. This is a proper fish. It might even be a carp, but it does feel like it's fighting a little bit like a carp. Hope not. Hope it's a nice big barbel. Oh, God, stay away from there. It's really deep in front of us. It's about 12 feet in front of us here, so it's just digging for the bottom. Yeah, not much I can do about this. Wild conditions. What a fight this is. I'm expecting this when it comes to the surface to be huge. See if it comes up that's about £5. I'm going to look like a right idiot. just fighting really deep, right in front of us. I think that tree's a wee bit further out, so at the minute I think we're safe. We've just not even seen it yet. This is ridiculous. This cannot be a barbel.
Big barbel, I'm telling you.
It's either a big barbel or a carp. Can't get off the bottom. There's the feeder. What we got? It has to be. I should be able to get it. Yeah. I just want to see this. This must be a big fish. Has to be. What we got? Come on. No. I don't know. It's got some power on it anyway. It is, it's a cracker. Making this look difficult. Is it full hooked? Is that what it is? It's full hooked, isn't it? That's why it's feeling so heavy. It's hooked in the... It does count. Get that in the net. I can't get it. It's not even that big. Yeah, hooked in the bloody back. That's why it felt like an absolute ton weight. Oh well. Well, that was interesting. That's one way to bring them in. So as before, as always, keep them in the net for a wee bit, let them recover, and then we'll have a look. I thought that fish was absolutely huge. Does it count when it's hooked in the dorsal fin?
No.
I would normally say no, but based on how difficult it's been lately, I'm counting this. I'll take all the luck I can get. I don't think it's quite doubles. It's not far off. Good bit chunkier than yesterday's fish. They're around about £8, maybe 9 at a push. But what a fight. I thought it was a £20. Right, we'll get that rod sticked up, rebaited, back out, and Gordon's up next. A couple of wee photos. There we go. We don't get many of these in Scotland. There's a few in the Clydes, allegedly. But they are lovely fish, and I do always enjoy coming down and having a go for them. That is perfect condition, look at that. Stunning fish. And they're strong, they're powerful. Let's get them back. Downstream rod again. There he goes. Well, that didn't take too long. It's an improvement on yesterday. Let's see if we can get a few more though, before the rain comes.
So, with Alex getting that fish, what we're going to do is put another 5 feeder fulls out, and then if that's the theme of the day, we're going to get a few fish as kind of predicted, then we'll keep feeding the swim, keep the bait going in, and hopefully keep the barbel on our peg, and then hopefully I can get one. So 4-ounce feeder, baiting up rod. Into the mix that Alex spoke about yesterday. 2 mils, 4 mils, 6 mils, bit of ground bait. They were not overly pressing that too tightly in. We want to be able to empty it. And then pick your mark up, ping it out, hit the clip, wind caught that there, let it hit the bottom, empty the feeder, this wind is absolutely wild. That was number 4. Number 5 coming up. Same again. Pick your point, your marker even. Ping it out, hit the clip. Bail arm on, let it hit bottom. There we go. Empty the feeder. Job done.
So as Gordon says, after every fish, or after every couple of hours, we'll stick out 5 feeder fills of bait on the exact spot that we're fishing. Now that's key with any feeder fishing, is accuracy. And you want to be putting your bait, your free offerings and your hook baits in the same sort of area, or the same sort of line. And that's where these get in a little bit of a knack to it. These are our distance sticks, you can count the wraps. Now at the minute we're fishing at about 15 wraps, which is about 30 metres. You clip up, stick the line clip in the reel, and every time we recast, we go through the same process. And that just ensures that that hook bait and that bait is landing in the exact same spot every time, assuming that you're accurate, which is easier said than done in this wind. Right, the only issue is I can't speak and count at the same time, so I'm going to do that again. So once we've counted the wraps, line's in the clip. I like to double wrap it, sometimes it gets a tendency of coming off. And that marks the cast. Every cast we hit will hit that clip, drop on the exact spot, where hopefully the fish are. Reel it back in, chuck it out, and wait.
So these are hook bait attractants. So what I like to do is just drop my wee dumbbell in the bovril, as I call it, because that's exactly what it smells like. Get a hold of my feeder, pack the feeder up all the time. That dumbbell is soaking up that, or getting coated in that lovely, I swear honestly it's like bovril. A cup of hot water, a teaspoon of that, and I think you'll be alright. There we go. Beautiful. Now in this wind, I'm not the world's greatest caster, I'll tell you that for man. Pick my marker and punch into that wind as best you can. Go on, hit the clip. Hit the clip, separation, clip off, bail arm off, couple of pulls of line, That's holding bottom nice with a 4 ounce. Get the bail arm sorted. Into the alarm. He drop back. There we go. You want that bow in the line with the toe. And we're holding bottom. My turn!
So, one fish down, rebaited, 5 feeder fulls. Gordon's put his feeder on top of that area. Second rod, fishing slightly downstream, about 20 yards downstream. Sticked up at a slightly longer distance just because the slightly bigger angle on it being downstream means you need to cast that a little bit further so that it stays in the same line. So I've wrapped that, stick that up at 16, so 16 wraps, and we're just fishing exactly the same. Little main line dumbbell, but this time on a straight lead. Feed goes in up above. This is almost like a little sleeper bait sitting just below it, 20 yards below the main patch of bait. If you can hear anything I'm saying, then well done. This is mental. So yeah, let's get this one out. And yeah, the more wind there is, the more you really need to punch these baits out. Hit the clip, on the money, unclip. Now that's the key. That's why we use the sticks and we don't just keep the line in the line clip. Let a bow out. Stick on a tripod. Baiter on a run, he says. And we're back fishing.
So yesterday Alex had spoke through the ground bait mix, the pellet mix that we use for the barbel. So I just thought it'd be worthwhile mentioning the hook baits that I say we've been catching fish. I've caught one chub, but they're 15mm dumbbells. That's what's been working. Added to that is an enhancement. As I've mentioned earlier, you probably heard me saying the smell of this. I just smell bovril. It's got a really strong, beefy, meaty smell to it. I think so anyway. And that can be added to your hook baits. In the tub, I like to give it a wee dunk just before casting. The feeders we're using, are these big 4-ounce attached to your clip. That's how we've been fishing them. Ram pack that tight as you can, and the bait slowly releases out. That's the theory anyway, it's not working for me. I've hooked a couple of fish, lost a couple of fish, but it's been really tough today with the wind. It's getting to, we've been putting in 5 feeder fulls, what, every 3 hours, 2 hours, 3 hours. We've had, what, 2 runs and 1 barbel. But the wind is not letting up at all. It's really uncomfortable sitting in it. But that's what the barbel are meant to be, and I'm going to go and get my lunch now. And hopefully later on can put a barbel in the bank for myself. Well, that was absolutely, spent the day feeding the fish, no catching them, other than the barbel Alex got first off early on. The second one that came, lost it, and nothing the rest of the day. The wind changed from 50-mile-an-hour winds to 2-mile-an-hour winds, but driving rain the rest of the afternoon. So we're going to have a wee drink, a wee bite to eat ourselves, and we're going to try, we've not even decided where we're going to go tomorrow, but we'll have a wee chat and I'll see you there, wherever that is. See you later. Well, that pizza backfired this morning, let me tell you. Wednesday, day 3. We're back to where the River Trent barbel fishing started off for us. And I was fortunate enough that day to catch an 11 pound, 11 ounce barbel. So we're back on that very spot. Put a load of bait out there. I'm fishing my upstream rod with another 4 ounce feeder on with the mainline 15mm dumbbell, and on my downstream rod I've got a small feeder on with the same 15mm dumbbell feeder on. Watching YouTube last night, some local guys that fish, they seem to cast more frequently, putting regular bait in. I'm going to try that today. I'm going to try and be more methodical. Some guy said every 20 minutes. I don't know, maybe I'll go every hour. We'll see how the fishing goes. Alex has already had a bream. I don't want bream. I'm on a barbel. We did bring a pike gear down. That was going to be an option, pike, and try for a zander. But because the fish has been so poor in the barbel, our last day is still solely focused on old whiskers. Hopefully we can get one, or I can get one. So stay tuned.
This is more like it. This is the weather I was hoping for. It just makes you feel confident, more confident. You can just turn up, settle down, relax without getting buffeted and blown about with the wind. A couple of breams so far, which is not exactly what we're after. But no, great day to finish the trip on. Let's just hope we can get a couple of fish. Big fish, proper fish. So yesterday we spoke through the setup, the 2-rod setup. Upstream rod, fishing a feeder, packed full of pellets. Pellets fed over the top of that, and then the downstream rod, straight lead, and just a single hook bait, just fished maybe 20 yards downstream. Exactly the same approach today, but I'm going to try exploring with that downstream rod a wee bit further across the river. There's a big flow right across the far bank here. I've only got 4 ounces, but I'm going to see how far across I can get. But these river leads, these sort of gripper leads, got a nice indentation in the middle here, and it helps sometimes to take some of this stuff, a bit of a sort of paste, and just sort of mould that into that hollow in the lead. And as we've discovered previously, that'll stay there for years, literally. So mould that in there, just adds a little bit extra attraction. And yeah, let's fire this one out. I'm fishing at 17 wraps on my upstream rod. I've extended this to 21 wraps. So a wee bit further. We'll see if it can hold. It might not hold in that flow, but one might find out. Let's go. So here we go, downstream rod, 21 wraps. Fair chuck. It's only a 1.75 pound test curve rod, but it should put this out all right. Nice. Because there's a wee bit more flow out there, we'll let it a bit of a bow, and hopefully it'll hold. Seems to be holding okay. Nah, it's bouncing. Just might be a wee bit too much for a 4-ounce lead. We'll see. That might hold there, so yeah, quite a big bow in the line. We'll see what happens. Well, another funny wee bite. Expected that to be another bream, but pleasantly surprised to see it's not. It's a nice looking chub. It's a chunky chub. Take that.
Well done.
Take that. It's a nice fish actually. Yeah, hold that, see if I can just unhook it. I do like catching these, especially when they get to that size. That's a cracker. That's over 4, I think.
Wait.
Possibly. Yeah, I think we will. Not a barbel. But like I said the other day, next best thing. It's not a bream. There we go. We did stick this one on the scales because it looked quite chunky. And it is chunky. £6.4. £6.4 and a new PB. Lovely fish. Let's get him back. Look at the thickness. Look at the weight on that. The thickness across its. Easy. It's the thickness of that fish. Look at that. That is an absolute beauty. Look at the scales on those fish. Stunning. Oh, he's not hanging around.
Well, when we were dealing with Alex's chub there, I heard my rod going. Wasn't a barbel bite, but aye, could be a chub or a bream. Please be a chub, I'd be delighted.
Fish?
Yeah, if it was a chub. If this is a bream, we're going home with day.
Oh, other rod. Other rod.
Don't know, could it be this?
Maybe. I think it might be hanging over it.
I like them. Get the bend in the rod. That's best, no be a bream. Please be a chub. Be a chub.
I'm on me done bream.
Nah, it's a chub innit?
I'll get it. That looks like a chub to me.
Please be a chub. It's a wee chub.
That's a chub.
I've got I'm in my other line as well, Alex. Could you? Hey, leave that in the net and we'll get this sorted. Typical, innit? He gets a PB of £6.8. And I get one half a size.
Stunning looking wee fish though. Absolutely thin perfect.
I do like my chub.
Especially when they look like that.
Get a couple of photos and we'll get them straight back. There we go. At least I'm no blanking. Beautiful fish in that sunlight, is it? Camera catching that.
I don't think this is a chub. I've literally put that back out seconds it was away. There we have what we came for. I'm going to need to go under that other rod of mine, yeah. I'll wait till I get in close and I'll go under this rod. What a screaming run that was. As soon as you get a run like that, you know what it is. Well, I'm saying that, I've not seen it yet. It's ticking all the boxes. A wee bit of acrobatics needed here. Woohoo! It's not doing much now, it took some really powerful runs. Now it's just sort of lulling about. I'm expecting it to go again. Yeah. They're powerful, powerful fish. Wait a minute. I thought it was a chub there when I first seen it. No, it's not. It's a small barbel. Small barbel. Yeah. That's a small fish. No, it's not as small as I thought it was. And it's sunny. This is easy.
Chub.
On the way in there, I got a glimpse of it and it didn't look overly big. I thought it was a chub. And it's not huge. But he's lovely. And more than welcome. So that's 3 fish so far this trip. And every one of them below average, which is unusual for this place. You're usually hitting 9-10 pounds on most fish. Stunning looking fish. A little bit small. But you can't complain when you've got a lovely bar of gold like that. Couple of snaps, and we'll get him back. There you go. Rested in the net for a wee bit, he's kicking, ready to go. So let's slip him over the net. See if we can get a couple more. Might end this trip on a high after all. Oh, back in the net. That way, there we go. It's easy when they read the script, isn't it?
That right hand rod just went over the, just the slightest of twitches. Very bream-like. one of their reels to scream into life. Been a tough trip for myself. It's hard to stay positive when things just don't seem to be going your way. And we're fishing exactly the same way, and Alex is having a good day, so it looks like his bad luck is somewhat came to an end. I'm honestly happy for him. £6 for Chub, but hopefully I'll get a big double figure barbel. End the trip in a high.
So I was just sitting there in the nice sunshine, basking in my glory of my new PB Chub. And I was thinking to myself, surely it's not as big as it said it was. It didn't look over £6 to me. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to double check this here. We weighed that fish in the mesh of this net. It's about there. And we kind of thought 4 to 6 ounces. It's not 4 to 6 ounces. The net weighs a pound. So it's not £6 4, £5 8, and it's not a PB. So it's taking the shine off it a little bit, but you can't be claiming PBs unless you're 100% sure. So we thought we'd double check the weight of the net, and it is a wee bit heavier than we thought. So nah, £5 8. Still better than Gordon though, isn't it?
Still a nice fish, but well, nah, bloody hood. Think it'll happen.
Yeah, it's happening tonight. We're going to finish on a high.
Hope so.
So do I. Just as it gets dark. Prime time.
So I really do hope so.
So today's definitely been the best of the three, weather-wise and fish-wise. We've still got a few hours to go. We're really hoping to finish this whole trip on a high, and the conditions are looking good for that last golden hour, or golden 2 hours hopefully. But hopefully Gordon can get a fish, because otherwise I'm going to sit in a car with him for 6 hours on the way up the road tomorrow. That ain't going to be fun. Nah, I'm thinking it'll kick off later. We're just keeping the bait going in. 3 feederfuls every half hour, 45 minutes or so. I'm actually baiting up while I've got both rods fishing. Both rods are fishing at the minute, and this is just going upstream of both of them. Right, so whack this out. Because there's been a fair amount of activity with, oh, there's a bite, with bream, with chub. That looks like another bream. Yeah, that's definitely a bream. I'll deal with this first. I think it's quite important to keep the bait going in. Let's see what we've got on this. My money's on a bream, but you never know. Yeah, it's still there. Fish on. Oh, if it's a bream, it's a decent one. I think it might be a little chub. This might be a chub. Maybe not, it's hard to tell. Felt some little rattly head shakes there, so that might count out a bream. But that, I think it's a chub. That's why it's important to keep that bait going in. Prime that swim for later on. That's not a bream. This is a chub, I think. So we'll nip down underneath here again. It's a day of the chub today by the looks of it. Oh no, it's not. It's a big slimy bream. Quite an athletic bream. That one felt chub-like all the way. I'll just nab him, I think. Is an athletic little bream. Yeah, with these guys about, we need to make sure that that bait keeps going in. Couldn't have timed that better to justify the point. So there are 3 feederfuls to go in, bait up, back on top of it, and hope there's not too many bream to come. We're into something here. It feels reasonably heavy, but I don't think it's a barbel. It's a weird bite, a weird bream-like bite. However, if this is a bream, it might be a nice one. It's just not really doing anything. Just kind of big, lazy lunges. He's keeping his head down. Oh, it's a big slab. It's a big bream. Thought it was a bream. It's a nice one though. We might need the net for this one.
Walk it down.
It's a proper slab, this. Ah, shush. Don't think it's going to beat any PBs, but it's a nice fish. We'll have a wee look at this one. It's not huge, but it's nice enough. But that is a nice bream. Around about the £6 or £7 probably. Fair bit off my PB. But when they're that size, I don't mind too much. Adds a little bit of variety. Some nice chubs, some nice barbel, and some of these big slimy suckers. Well, we'll wait just to see.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I'm saying 6.5. We'll have a look. It's out of curiosity more than anything. We stuck this guy on the scales. And he's a fair lump of a bream. Ain't a dustbin lid by any chance, or any stretch of the imagination, but £7 and 10 ounces. Decent sized fish for this area. And I don't mind it when they get to that size. Adds a little bit of variety. Some nice chub, some nice barbel.
It's a daft bream, get it
And
back.
some of these slimy suckers. Yeah, a couple of photos I think. Well, somebody's got to love them I suppose.
Swans like what it's at.
Even the swans aren't a fan. But hey, they deserve their place I suppose.
This feels absolutely massive. I know in my luck it'll be a wee fish wrapped in a snag.
What's it doing? It doesn't look
I feel head shakes. It's swimming up river. Stick doesn't swim surely. See if this is a big daft bream. Please be a big chub. Don't think it's a barbel, do you? Just the way that it's fighting. It's just stayed. This is a big bream, I'm going to be absolutely gutted.
barbel.
Oh, it's a barbel.
It's a nice barbel. Now it wakes up. Usual.
Ah, it's a barbel. What's going on here?
I don't think it knew it was hooked.
It didn't. It knows now.
That was almost like when you get a skate halfway up to the boat and it's nah, you're alright. See ya.
Oh, man, my heart's my mouth now, see, because I know it's a barbel. I was initially thinking,
Gordon, it's not just a barbel.
eh?
It's a big barbel.
Don't say that. You know not to say that sort of stuff to me.
Size fish.
Fucking legs are shaking. Oh, please. No, what makes me worry more? I tied the hook links.
fish. That is an absolute monster. The weight pays off.
Oh, thank God, man.
What's that, bud? What's the size of that?
Big, isn't it?
That's a PB.
Hey,
That's a PB.
you think?
That's over £12.
Oh,
I'm saying it's over £12, but saying that, we've all had small fish up till now, so it might not be anywhere near it. But
right, let's go and get organised.
Beauty of a barbel. That's the biggest barbel I've ever seen.
Right, let me see it. Honestly. See, when I hooked that, I was middle of doing a piss. And I thought, nah, that's a bream bite or something that didn't scream off the way you would associate with a barbel. So when I picked the rod up, it genuinely felt like a small fish, because I could feel the head knocks, but with a snag, because a similar thing happened to me when we were pike fishing and I inevitably lost the fish. But holy shit, I'm sure you'll forgive me for swearing, but that's probably, I think, the biggest barbel you or me have seen. But as everyone told us, well, looks can be deceiving. We'll go and get them on the scales. And honestly, I could greet. I didn't think that was going to happen. Right, come on. Well, true what they say. Best things come to those who wait. Check this beauty out. Now, we have weighed it, but Alex has not told me how much it weighs. I'm going to guess 13.
13.12.
Oh, magic. Oh, wow. I am speechless.
Right, don't move.
Got lost for words. We've rested in the net for 5-10 minutes there, just about to put them back. But what a fish. What a relief. I will say that. Thank you. Wherever Trent does it again. Size that, Alex.
I shouldn't really be, because I've had the luck the last 3 days. But I'm a wee bit jealous. Look at that. Right, let's get this beauty back.
That is one special fish right there.
This across its back.
Am I right in saying, Alex, it's always good to make sure these go off with a good kick?
Just like that.
Right, see while I remember, I always promised one thing that I would do for my number one fan, my wee goddaughter Jessica. Magic Uncle G did it! Oh, magic. This is a barbel. It feels like another good fish. Oh dear. Oh dear. Alex, can you bring that other rod in? Just stick the camera down, bring the other rod in.
Right, I'll go and get a net. No, keep on. So you can see.
He's my way for that stag, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We're literally packing up to head back to the car.
Is it done you?
No.
It's another big one, eh?
Yeah. Can you see alright with that?
No, it's fine, it's fine. No, it's fine. You keep on so you can see what you're doing.
It's swimming up. You know what's going to happen here, don't you?
It's going to take off.
It's going to take off as soon as it sees the bank.
Just be ready for it.
That's why you always have your drag set right, isn't it, Alex?
Aye. You can never please everyone. You can never have it right for everyone. It's either too tight or too light. Another nice one. As you got a strobe light in your head.
Oh.
Or double.
This has turned out to be the best day's barbel fishing I've ever had. Look at this. Another absolute Trent. Beauty. £13.8. 2 fish over £13 in the last 2 hours of a 3-day trip. If you're going to write a script for a fishing holiday, I'm sure you'll all agree that that's the way to do it. I'm absolutely buzzing. Oh, magic. Look at that. Now I can say that I've emulated my hero John Wilson. A proper one. We go to the pub.
Yep. Hold that there, don't move it, don't move it, don't move it. Look at that. The weight of that is unbelievable. Oh. He wants to go.
That's why we come here,
What size is that?
Well, in the excitement of what happened there in the last couple of years, as you know, we always do like an outro, as we call it, to these videos. But you're meant to be off the water for dark, aren't you? That's the kind of.
So his fish doesn't count, his last fish doesn't count, that was in darkness.
So we quickly packed up, got back to the car, we've had some dinner, and we've poured a well deserved drink. That was your cue there to say something.
I'm speechless, I'm absolutely speechless. 2 days of just grueling, horrible,
Aye.
wet, windy, horrible conditions. The fishing was garbage, it was really tough. And then to finish like that, I mean, if anyone was to write a barbel fishing fairy tale, that would be it.
I still can't believe it. I genuinely still posted some pictures on Facebook and that, and the response has been brilliant. But honestly, it's just one of them moments in fishing you think will never happen to you.
But it's summer's fishing up. We've said it before. Now, when you're in the pits of misery and you're this is garbage. Why am I doing this? It only takes one fish, and you're in the clouds.
I think you're relieved, but aren't you?
Aye.
If I hadn't got them.
I know. Now I just need to listen to him brag about his fish all the way up the road now for 6 hours.
6 hours like that driving home.
I'd rather that than listen to him moan. But nah, well done. Cracking fish. Two
I
cracking
know.
fish.
That second one in the dark was, I still can't believe it. But trips like this are obviously, we plan these with the very best we can, don't we? We always try and pick what we think will be the best month or the best. We've tried late winter, we've tried late summer, and we've just never caught them big barbel. And each trip, that's the first barbel I've caught since September 2022. Really struggled. We struggled the last trip. In the last video, Mark, who fished with us for the day, was the only barbel we seen.
Yeah, even he only managed one, and he's a regular. He fishes the river constantly. And speaking of regulars, we spoke to quite a few of them today. And
the bank was really busy today, wasn't it?
But they were all saying how difficult it's been and how tough it's been. So
since the floods, really, wasn't it? They've said.
So to spend 3 days and catch the small amount of fish that we did catch today, that's not bad going, I don't think, in those conditions.
I asked them whilst we were having our dinner, what would you rather have had? Your fish that you've had in the past 3 days, or my 2 hours a day?
It's obvious. I want his fish.
You just a brilliant. To be fair, the last trip as well, you had 3 PBs. You've done it again today with the Trent and the Trent.
Some nice fish, nice big slab of a bream.
I can't talk.
A decent chub that I thought was a little bit, the scales told me were a little bit bigger, but I think we misread the reading on that. Still a nice fish at £5.5. Not quite a PB, but aye, and I've had a few barbel as well. Caught barbel every day, which is more than he's done.
Aye. With these trips, sometimes they're not possible without the local knowledge in it. The local knowledge is very, very. It's a must. It's a must, I think.
They're always possible, but it massively helps.
I mean, we've done now 4 trips down here, and we've been fortunate enough to be able to fish. Not the same spots. We have fished the same spots, but we've tried a couple of new spots, kind of the last couple of times. And that walk yesterday, near Kilty with a barra.
It was a long one.
The deal is, I drive the car, he drives the barra. But having the option to fish these swims is just, it's a privilege, I think. I never ever thought back when I was away and watching John Wilson I'd ever get the opportunity to fish for barbel. And let's be honest, no, I tried my best today. I think that's the first time you can.
He fished well.
I was determined. I thought I can't drive all this way, and just the thought of no catching that barbel for a second trip in a row was horrible. But again, we changed our baits. We were fortunate enough to use big river barbel. It should really read big river, big barbel for me. Because I catch big barbel. But brilliant baits, and these were the hook links that done it. The big river barbel, 15 mils. And last night we were sitting watching some previous videos on YouTube from other channels, and he laughed at me this morning. Adam Rooney, who helped us out with all this stuff, big thanks to him and the guys at Guru and Mark for bringing it down for us on Monday. It's not often you can see you get your bait delivered to your swim, is it?
Could get used to that.
Very fortunate that way. But when using the hook baits, obviously you've got what do you call them? Can you help me out here, Alex?
Bait stops.
Bait stops. And in one of the videos I noticed that Adam used a kind of yellow, kind of fluorescent one.
Yeah.
And he said that's just for added attraction. I thought, I like that. So I found a wee pink set in my box today.
Some barbel bling.
And used some pink ones, so I might have made the difference. But no, this range, if you're a barbel fisherman, obviously it was their first time using it. Alex is the go-to man for me for the. Well, should I say, I'm not letting to mix up the ground bait. I always make an arse of it.
Aye.
So he done the ground bait. I cheated a wee bit towards the end and I lobbed in pretty much. The last of that bottle, it's just a bit empty. But no, thanks to Adam and Mark as well.
So what's next?
Just have a few drinks and stare at my pictures. I think. Well, you're rugby bound the next couple of weekends, aren't you?
Aye, Six Nations is taking over my weekends next wee while.
Maybe tie in with Ross and Dazza, see what they're doing. The big fella's choking for his first big grayling, so still got time for a grayling, haven't we?
Oh, I plenty of time. Yeah. The rivers might be a bit dodgy though.
Aye.
We'll see.
Well, end of next week means one thing.
Sea trout.
Sea trout season begins. I do like a bit of sea trout fishing. Maybe get one of the fly this time.
Aye, definitely.
Anyway, this is a barbel video and we're blabbing on. So, hope
I'm
you
going to have to
enjoyed
listen
this.
to them all night. So think yourself lucky.
So cheers.
We'll see.
All the best.
And we'll see you next time.
I thought you were going to go and try and walk away there.
Welcome back to, well, we don't really know yet. We're in a bit of a predicament here. The plan for this video was going to be a catch and cook. But the pike maniac over here is determined to go pike fishing tomorrow. So pike fishing and catch and cook, probably not the best idea. I don't think that would go down very well.
Attack the keyboard.
But we have a plan. We have, well, I hope we have a plan. The beginnings of a plan anyway.
The Alaskans like pike, don't they?
Aye, but we're not in Alaska, that's the problem.
Canadians like the pike.
But we're not in Canada. Scandinavians, Russians, everybody else.
Feels like we're in Alaska. I have to drag this haircut, I'm freezing.
But no, don't worry, we're not going to start eating pike. But yeah, we do have the beginnings of a plan. We are going to go pike fishing, however, so this is a pike fishing video, but we still want to bring in the kind of catch and cook that we had planned. So we're down at the allotment.
The feedback's been good on them,
Yeah, I enjoy making them as well.
I enjoy eating them.
Just throws in a different little aspect as well, and it keeps it interesting. So we're back down at the allotment. It is the middle of January, so there's not much going on at the allotment. Starting to clear everything out for springtime, but there's still a few bits and pieces. So I think what we'll do is we'll have a wee rummage, see if we can come up with something from here, and we'll cook that up tomorrow while we're pike fishing.
Gives you something to do in your pike fishing.
Aye, because we're not going to catch any fish. The way I've been going, there ain't no chance I'm catching a fish tomorrow.
I've got a couple of secret weapons for tomorrow.
All right.
I've been doing a bit of research.
Can't wait to see what that is. But aye.
Involves crabs.
Ah, right. I know what it is. But aye, let's see if we can scrape together something that will give me something to do tomorrow. So like I said, mid-January, there's not much going on here. It's a bit of a stage now, but I'm sure we can pull something out of here. In this proper winter veg. In here, doesn't look like it, but there should be, hopefully, if I can get through this solid frozen ground. Bear with me. I need an ice pick. Nope. We'll get there. There should be some parsnips in here. I don't know if we're going to get them out though. Hey. Right, we'll come back to them. Swedes, surely we can get some of these. They're pretty solid as well. It has been down to -9 lately, overnight. And see, to be fair, these are just what's left of the Swedes, and they're not the greatest. But hey, middle of January, we'll take what we can get. So we've got some of those. We'll be able to do something with these. And then again, some more winter veg with kale. The kale's still looking reasonable. We're going to have a look at that. And then we'll come back to these. Yeah, the cold weather's taking its toll on them a little bit, but I reckon they'll be okay. Can definitely do something with this. The great thing about kale, -9, and it's still in decent condition. A bit wilted, but it'll do. Take some of that. So Swedes, kale, maybe a parsnip. Still got a few dried onions left over. They were in the polytunnel, so that'll help. And then the Brussels have they've kind of suffered a little bit, but there might be a couple of salvageable ones in here. A couple of these on the top can be cleaned up, stripped off. They feel pretty firm. I reckon we can use those. So apart from the parsnips and the leeks that are entombed, never to be cut free, we've got, well, we don't have much. Let's go and have a look. Right, we might struggle here. Couple of Swedes, some kale that's just about good, some sprouts that need a bit of attention, but I reckon they'll be okay, and an onion. Don't know what we can do with that.
Yeah, all right, you get the worst ones, the Brussels sprouts.
I love Brussels. Don't know about these ones, they look a bit rough.
The sweet ones, but if they're sweet ones, I can deal with it.
The cold weather might have sweetened them up a bit. That tends to happen with winter veg.
That right, eh?
Aye,
I never knew it.
especially carrots in particular, parsnips. With it, well, we might not.
I do like Brussels sprouts, but I've grown to like them as I've matured with
I think
age.
it depends how they're cooked. A lot of people overcook them, become quite mushy, they become quite bitter. They're quite nice shredded up and cooked really quick in stir fries and things like that. So they're all right. Depends how you cook this veg. Kale as well is one that people don't really like, but I like it. We've had it back in some of the other catching cooks with the sea trout and whatnot. So
So what are you doing with it then?
I have absolutely no idea. It's a bit.
There's the parsnips and who's that, eh?
Well, I'm going to get the parsnips out. We've got a crowbar in there. We're going to get them. I've got a crowbar in there that's coming out, and we're going to get a couple of parsnips. But what can we cook with that?
Perch?
Nah. You know what? I think I've got something. Nah, I definitely have something that might save the day. Give me a second.
He's been dying to get ease out. Aye. I think angling 360 might be going in another direction after you see this.
These might help.
Couple of birds.
Surely we can sort these guys out. Lovely looking birds. Big thanks to John for donating these. However, it is something that we might be looking for Angling 360, a direction for Angling 360 to go in the future. But surely with these,
Right,
and the veg,
time out. Not everybody's going to know what these are.
these, everyone knows what these are.
No, they don't.
Nah,
Guys in my work, didn't they?
oh really? These are pheasant, a lovely, lovely game bird.
And tell the good peoples of Angling 360 YouTube,
Yep.
I only just found out recently that they're no native to Scotland
They're,
either.
nah, they're not. They're introduced for shooting. That's why they're here. They were brought over from China. I'm sure it's China. Hundreds of years ago. For sport and for the table.
There you go.
But yeah, they're stunning looking birds. Most people that are out and about.
A few folk
will
are after the feathers for their fly tying as well, aren't they?
Yeah. A lot of people recognise them from kicking about the fields. The feathers are used across the country in fly tying. Stunning looking birds.
Was that a pheasant-tailed nymph?
A pheasant-tailed nymph is one of them. But we're going to treat them with the utmost respect, like all food should be. And we're going to prep these, and these will be lunch
Look at the
tomorrow.
light hitting that.
They're stunning, absolutely stunning birds. Lovely.
Tastes good too, I've had them before.
They're lovely. So yeah, let's sort these guys out. Right, now I am absolutely no expert at this, at prepping these birds, but we were given 4 birds. I had a wee experimental sort of plucking session, so to speak, through the week. And it turned out all right. So I'm going to talk you through how I would do it. It's probably not the right way. I'm, like I said, no expert. We want to use as much of this bird as possible. So these feathers, these tail feathers, are pretty valuable for anyone that wants to tie flies or to display them. Gordon's quite partial to a pheasant feather or so. So we're going to take these out first of all, one at a time, so we don't rip the skin. And I think that's key to this process, is take your time, don't rush it, because we want to keep that skin in contact as much as possible, and it does tear quite easily. It is possible to just skin the whole bird with the feathers, but the skin is where the flavour is, and we want to keep that flavour as much as possible. Skinning would be much quicker, but hey, we've only got 2 birds and we ain't in any hurry today. Quite a nice day actually, better than forecast. And then once we've got the tail off, I think it's probably easier to start from the neck down. Some videos, I've been doing a lot of sort of research online on YouTube. Some videos say start from the sort of back and the tail end and come up the way, but I found it easier to start at the top of the head, work our way down the front, turn it over, work our way down the back, straight into a bin. It can get quite messy, so we want to keep it as tidy as possible. And we're keeping that skin taut as well with my thumb here. So I'm pressing down on the bird as I sort of pluck the feathers, just to keep the skin taut, keeps it in contact, you know, in one piece. We don't want to rip that skin. It will rip, it will, especially with the shot of one in, but we can be as careful as we can to limit it. Now this takes time, it's a wee bit tedious. But we'll get Gordon in, he can do the other one. A wee competition, see who gets the best end result bird. I like a bit of competition. But yeah, we'll work our way through this. And then we'll take the wings off, take the head off, take the feet off, and hopefully by the end of this we'll have two perfectly prepared pheasant. There you go, got the birds halfway there, got them plucked. Just need to take the wings off, take the head off, take the feet off, and then we'll clean them up a wee bit more and take it from there. You see here, this wing's already been broken, that's obviously that's taken a shot. So ideally we'd be looking for this joint here. We're looking to break the wings off at that joint, but it's not going to happen with this one. So just take a slice through here. Take a slice through the top. We should be able to take that off like that. Again, a lot of fly tires, we'll keep the wings for the feathers. In fact, we'll keep them as well. Keep them over there. I think this wing's better condition. We can actually find the joint that we're looking for, which is here. That's the sort of upper. We're going to keep this bit attached. We'll clean it up in a little bit. But just again, slicing the top down to the joint. Slicing the bottom to the joint. And we should be able just to crack that off. Wings come off. We'll tidy that up later. Now I want to take the head off as close to the body as possible. But nothing pretty about this, it's just straight through. It's off. Then the bit to be careful of, I think, is the crop. The crop is in here. This might take a wee bit of time, but I want to pull that out without damaging too much of the skin.
That's a bit I call the corn.
The corn, the crop, but it keeps all its corn and whatnot. You can see that, oh, it's burst. Ideally, we didn't want to burst that, but hey, oh, not much we can do about it.
That's what your pheasant eats.
Yeah, a lot of barley in there. Yeah, we burst that one. Ideally, it all comes out in like a little bag. But it didn't quite work on this one.
Surprised you're not going to fling that into a bowl of super sauce.
So basically the bird keeps it in this little pouch here until it needs to digest it. We'll give that a clean up later on. You know what, the birds will probably still have that, so we'll let that over there.
Birds are going to come nowhere near you while you're doing that.
Again, a few wee bits and pieces in terms of feathers. Unfortunately, that wing took a hit. We'll tidy all that up later. Then the feet. Again, no expert here, but what I've researched is there is a big tendon runs up the back of the drumstick here. So we want to try, it's not the easiest thing to do, but try and take it out with the foot. So again, just that joint there. Slice the skin round. And then just snap the leg back the way. And it should hopefully come out with the tendons. So that worked alright.
It's mad.
We'll do the same with other ones. Again, tidy that up, leave the little joint proud. I think in cookery terms they call it French dressed, I think. They do it with the wings as well, and it gives you like a drumstick handle almost. Do the same here. Snap it back. Tendons should come out. There we go. There we have almost a fully dressed pheasant. Also need to take the insides out. That's not a pretty part. But all we're going to do there is just slice from below the breast here, straight down, and then unfortunately it's just a case of getting your hands in and pulling it all out. I think we'll do that off camera. No one wants to see that. So there we go, we got there eventually. It's not a quick job, it does take a bit of time. Plucked them, cleaned them up, and now, yeah, we've got the finished, almost finished product. Now, if we were going to keep these as a whole bird for roasting, you would need to tidy up the rest of the feathers here, take off some of the fat and tidy up a little bit more. However, with these ones, I think we're going to break them up. We're going to break them up into legs and thighs, maybe keep it as a crown, but possibly take the breasts off and try as much as possible to keep that skin intact, which might be easier said than done. Now, when Gordon said earlier on in the intro that this might be a new direction, I think it was me, did I say it? One of us said it, a new direction to Angling 360. Don't worry, it's not going to deviate from fishing. Fishing is what Angling 360 is primarily all about. But it's nice to bring in other aspects of sort of outdoor living, food in particular. We like our food. So let us know in the comments if the game, not just game fish, but game in terms of pheasants, pigeon, ducks, geese, things like that, if that's something that you'd like to see a little bit more of. And if so, I'm toying with the idea of possibly applying for a shotgun certificate. Possibly. I'm thinking about it because this is something that I'd really like to give a go, and I think Gordon's quite keen on the idea as well. But it is all about fishing. Fishing is what Angling 360 is all about, and the pike is coming. So if you're interested in game, let us know. Put it in the comments. If you're not, feel free to skip this bit and go straight to the pike fishing. That is an option. But yeah, let's get these broken up into bits and we'll get on with the fishing. Getting there. There we go. Portioned up. Now the skin is a little bit ripped on this. I think this one's Gordon's, to be fair.
Yep, sorry.
So 2 legs. That's lunch tomorrow. I'm going to take the legs off this one as well, and we'll have these for lunch tomorrow. And I've just kept it as a crown. You could take the breast off them, the individual breasts, but that can be roasted. It can be covered in bacon, streaky bacon over the top, basted with fat or oil or something, butter.
That what I'm doing Sunday.
You can take that one, right? Let's do the same with this one. So yeah, this one here, this is going to be difficult because this bird's taking a shot to the thigh, so I'm not sure how that's going to work out. It looks a bit mangled, but we'll give it a go. Try to keep the skin on as much as possible, so slice along that skin. Try and separate the thigh from the rest of the body. And then yeah, that's what we can see. There's the thigh bone there's taking a hit, but we'll try and keep it intact. I'm just cutting down to the thigh joint, that bone socket joint, which is there. And just give this a bit of a done. Easier said than done. Now, like I said, not an expert at this. But there we go. Nice bit of thigh meat. Drumstick attached. There will be some shot in there, I'm sure. So I need to be careful with that. But yeah. Do the same with the other one. This one should be a little bit easier. That's more like it. That's a good one. Tied it up with the feathers. And that
It's my one tomorrow.
is a lovely looking leg of pheasant. And it's the fat, it's this fat in here that keeps the meat moist when you cook it. So we want to try and keep that on as much as possible. Not great when it's cooked, so we can take it off, take the meat off the bone, and it'll be fantastic. Then nothing pretty about this. In order to keep it as a crown, you just want to detach the breastbone from the backbone. Going to keep the wings attached, although the wings are a bit mangled on this. Pretty cold hands here, struggling a wee bit.
It's cold.
It's cold, isn't it?
Could you use that for like making a stock?
Yeah, it'd be great for soups and stock and whatnot. Made a bit of an arse of this one. We're getting there though. Yeah, I think this one's taken up a heavy hit with the shotgun, so it's all broken up. Yeah, we'll come back to that. Yeah, it would be alright for stock, but it's a bit minging, so we'll leave that for the fox. So I'm just running the knife down the side of the breastbone here. Now this is the first time I've done this, so it might not work out very well. And hopefully we can just prise the breast off. There'll be a wishbone up here somewhere as well, but I think that's taken a hit.
How would you say is easier, gutting a fish and filling a fish?
Gutting a fish. Gutted fish for years, I suppose, but no, this is difficult. Practice makes perfect, I suppose. That is a riot. Nah, you know what? I'm going to need to take the skin off this one to see what I'm doing.
But there's a
Yeah, you can see it's taken a absolute...
you can class that as a poor shot to the person that shot it. So I know hit the good meat.
definitely wasn't a headshot.
I think what these videos are doing, Alex, is basically showing that we ain't any experts.
Nah, definitely not with this. Anyway. I'm
But
taking
it's
the wine
also
off it.
showing that people know that your meat just doesn't appear on the supermarket shelf. Whether it's a wild bird or is it factory reared or whatever you
Yeah.
call it. Well, this process has to happen.
And it also shows that don't be afraid to give it a go. You might make an arse of it, but give it a go anyway. I'm just going to take the skin off.
I see I dabbled in this many years ago and tried all this before, and I have to admit that the meat is unbelievably tasty. And the patty that I made off it as well was... I start to salivate here. Some good tasty meat.
It also helps, I think, to have a decent knife, a proper knife. Let's say a fish knife. Definitely not doing the job as it should do. A proper boning knife would be ideal. There's a sort of the mini fillet. If you ever go to KFC, you can get mini fillets. That's what it is there. Tasty bit of meat, so we'll keep it.
Is that cold? It's like doing this in a fridge or not?
Yeah, it's cold. So, there we go. Not exactly expertly done, but we got it there in the end. We've got 2 breasts, a crown, and 4 legs. 2 birds, butchered, literally, and figuratively.
Well done.
We got there in the end, didn't we? No expert. Check out YouTube. Loads of better videos online of how to do it properly.
Well, it was a first time effort. I thought I'd done not too bad. Not that I did much, but there we go. So the plan is whilst we're trying to catch this Leviathan, the big pike, we're going to be cooking up Alex's handiwork here. Because Alex has just ran through the recipe and tell you, it sounds good. It sounds good. But I am on the clock, so I'm going to need to boost. And we'll see you on the bank tomorrow. We've still not decided where we're going yet either. So, see you tomorrow. Well, I've just been up to check the spot we'd planned to fish when we were preparing the pheasant yesterday, but unfortunately it's over there and we can't get to it. So we're going to have to make do with where we originally set up this morning. So we've managed to wheelbarrow everything down as far as we can. We've set up a wee kind of base camp, so to speak. We've had our breakfast this morning at Greg's and we're going to prepare that dinner later on this afternoon. Get a fire going. We have got 4 rods out and I shall at some point in this video talk about that wee secret weapon I purchased. It's not a sponsor, it's not been given to us, bought it myself, and it has thrown up. Social media is a great way of looking for new ideas, looking for different techniques, chatting to people, what are people trying different. And this oil, these sprays seem to be making a difference for some people. Now what I will say at this point is Alex and I have tried this before where he doesn't use the oils and I use the oils. Now if I'm not mistaken, Alex, you can correct me here, I think it ended 6 each. So there was no clear indication to say that oils performed better than not using it. Fishing next to each other, same style, same technique, same location, all that kind of stuff. But this one seems to be producing some bigger fish. Now whether you agree with them or not, or whether you think they're a good thing or not, the next few months will tell, because I'm going to be using them. And we'll see how they pan out. Alex isn't going to use them, and then we'll maybe make a wee comparison at the end of the dead baiting season, the end of March, whenever that is. So we'll see how we go today. So I mentioned earlier on there that I'm going to try this new oils, and we're going to try a comparison. So the oils that decided to buy, it was on everybody's probably seen the fish that the guy called Jerry caught, and it was like £39 odd. It was just shy of that £40, an unbelievable fish. And I've been kind of looking at this oil and spray from afar on social media, and I seen that fish and I thought, do you know something? The way our fishing's been going, especially the pike fishing, it's just been a bit of a lull, and I thought, you know something, I'm going to give that a try. Why not? Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you just need to try something different. And this is the range here. I just went, I nearly said something I shouldn't there, but I just went all in and just bought all variations. But the one that seems to be the buzz one now is this one, King Crab. And I got some baits delivered yesterday. They were a wee bit soft, so I took that opportunity before putting them in the freezer and injected them all whilst they were still in the packaging. Now when you buy that range, it comes, in my opinion, these come with needles that are far better than any other ones I've bought. They're really, really strong needles. Pretty handy. Not that they're pretty handy, you need them to put the oil in. And it comes with these sprays for dyeing the baits, if you like to dye your baits. Again, Alex is never a fan. I've bought dyed baits in the past, but now we've got the option to try different things and just see if anything works. Just as a tip, don't do what I done when I come in for work and take that out, because see that wee bit? It sprung back on me and had dye all over me. And I didn't smell cigarette for a while, so just be careful of that. But as I say, we're not sponsored by them, we're not plugging them, just showing you what we're using. There are other oils out there if you care to try them, one of them ones. But just thought we'd let you know what we're trying. And as I say, we're going to see how the comparison works out come the end of the dead baiting season. As it stands just now, we've not one single beep in the alarms. So probably in the wrong spot. But drop it in the comments to maybe spark a conversation. I did on my Facebook the other night. What's your thoughts on them? Do you know what I mean? Do they make a difference? Is it a gimmick? Alex thinks it's a gimmick. I think there might be something in it. Who knows? But we'll give it a go. We'll see what happens. So that was the secret sauce and the crab sauce and the sprays. We'll give that a go. See what happens.
I am not feeling this today. Not been feeling this for a while. This is, I think, the worst run I've ever had in my fishing life. It's demoralising. It's really tough. Don't think I've had so many blanks in a row. And I'm just struggling to get a wee bit excited about it. Any of it just now. But I suppose that is fishing. Comes with ups and downs, and you need to kind of ride out the rough days, but nah, not feeling this today. Just want to get lunch on, really. At least I've got that to look forward to. There you go, that's the way it goes. We've got a run. Was not expecting that today. Yep, it's away. We're in. We are in. Yeah, feels fairly. It's always hard to tell, but yeah. Nah, I don't think it's that big. Yeah, I don't think it's overly big. Nah, it's just a wee one.
You like using it? You like grab it?
Let's see how he's hooked. Aye, get him in there. Well,
No feeling it, huh?
not feeling it, but it's a fish. We're going to have a wee look at him. He says, only a wee one, and he wanted that mackerel. Nicely hooked. We should be able to get that out, no bother. I hope. Really important to hold these fish quite firmly. Just caught in the gill breaker there. There we go. Eventually. There we go. He's really small, wee skinny guy, so we'll get him back pretty quickly. But hey, it's a fish and it's more than I've managed on the last few sessions. Let's get back. There we go. It's a windy all day, those waves are crashing in. The water's cold as well. The wrong way. Hey buddy, that way. Not a drop of oil. One tone tackle. So that wee fish really wanted that bait. That's the bait that caught the fish. It was halfway down its throat. It didn't even chew it, look, not even a tooth mark in it. But when we've got the bait out, I'm just going to chuck that one back. There's no point in rebaiting, that's perfectly good bait. And the way we hook the bait's very, very simple. Tail root and flank. So tail root is the top treble and the flank or the back is the bottom. And when it says tail root, it means that flat bone right at the very top, or right at the very bottom of the fish, right at the tail. If you hook it in here, which I've seen a lot of people do, and at the actual wrist of the tail, you risk breaking the vertebrae that holds the whole fish together. Right in the very end, it doesn't look awfully strong, but that is the strongest part of the whole backbone of the fish. That you can chuck for absolute miles. You can put a right good whack in it and it'll hold. Whereas if you use the actual wrist of the tail, it has a tendency to break. So I find it works. You guys might differ, you might disagree. But that's the way I like to do it.
What else have you done there?
What with the
Something
tail?
that
Yeah.
I never used to do, but now do.
So obviously the mackerel come with the tail, fork tail. I like to trim the tails off. Just makes it a little bit more aerodynamic going through the air in the cast, and a little bit more hydrodynamic. It stops the bait spinning as it falls through the water. So yeah, just trim the tail fins off. And again, sometimes you'll see people actually trim the whole tail off. That way you lose the tail root. We want to keep that tail root in place, so it's just the fin that comes off the tail there. Almost like a little flight of an arrow. But hey, a bait in the water is a bait in the water. I don't think it really matters how you do it.
Caught a fish, but
Caught a fish.
feeding time. I literally picked out another biscuit when I took a wee bite of that biscuit and Alice got a run. Got a bite of another bit and got another run. I think this has got a load of weed on it. Feels tiny. But hey, it's a blank saver. The height of nonsense that one. Oh. Now it wakes up. Oh. If I get the forceps and I'll just unhook it in the water. It's very lightly hooked. Come on, wee guy, I'm trying to do you a turn here. I'm always sceptical of these trebles. Especially with the weird fish. Because they can be a bit lively. There we go. They ain't big, they ain't massive. I don't want to break any records. But they're all lovely, lovely, lovely conditioned fish. Look at that. A future monster. Probably bolt away straight away. Well, blanks off. One each. One each in the oil versus non-oil.
Right, so it's a bit wild out there. I'm starting to get a wee bit hungry. So we'll get the food going, but we're going to hide in the bivvy, out of the wind, just to get the majority of it started. And then we'll get a fire going out here and we'll finish it on the fire. I've done a wee bit of prep this morning, while things were a bit quiet. Cooked up some swedes, that's a swede from the allotment yesterday, and the kale. Mixed them in together with some butter, salt, pepper. And that's red. That just needs reheated. That's good to go, so that saves a little bit of time. And then last night, confit the legs. Now these were cooked for about 5 hours last night, low and slow. And again, they just need to be finished on the fire. I think we'll get them over the coals.
Well, I'm hoping I'm not the only one that said to you yesterday What the hell is confit?
Confit.
So for those that don't know,
Now, I ain't no chef, but confit is a way of preserving meat where you cook it really low, really slow, covered completely in fat. And that fat can be butter, it can be oil, and in this case, goose fat. And then once the fat sort of dries or cools over the top of it, you can then preserve that for up to a month. I've taken the oil because I've recycled the oil. It was about £8 worth of goose fat, so that's been recycled and put back in the jars. And I've taken the legs out. But yeah, finish them over the coals. And ideally, they're quite cold just now because they're just out the fridge. That should just break off the bone lovely. And we've got 4 of those legs there. The breasts from yesterday's butchery session. Again, they'll just be pan-fried later on, nice and quickly. So we're basically having pheasant 2 ways. Confit pheasant and a pan-fried breast. On some swede and kale. Again, a wee bit busier earlier on this morning. Got some parmentier potatoes on the go as well, so they can go straight on the coals later on and they'll crisp up a little bit. But they've just been boiled, sautéed in butter and rosemary.
smell amazing.
They smell good, don't they? Aye, they're great. So we'll get a sauce going. We need a sauce. Sauce probably takes a wee bit longer, so we'll get a... it should have been a garlic and white wine cream. But someone forgot the white wine. And it wasn't me. So chop up some onions, bit of garlic, get some stock on the go, and we'll give a wee sauce to go over the top of it.
Well, he wanted a fire, and I can tell you, that is toasty. Doesn't look cold, but that's a cold wind. It's blowing right into your face. Hence why the bivvies are the way they are. Alarms turned up loud, just at the back of there. So we need to let this come down to coals for Alex to work his magic. I think too hot, my waders are melting. To work his magic with this venison. So he's still got some of that sauce to make, so he better get his finger out. I've done my bit. The fire is almost ready to go. But the oak staves, man, they don't have burn hot. Don't fall to this, dinner.
So while that fire burns down to a sort of cookable level, it's got a wee bit to go, we'll finish off with this sauce. So yeah, onions, garlic, sautéed off in there, leave that to the side. And this is where the summer's sort of efforts come in handy in the winter. These are birch billets, the birch billets that we foraged back in August, I think. They've been dried and they're as good as they were back then. And these are oysters, grey oysters, that I picked up a couple of weeks ago, I think, and they've just been dehydrated. So we can rehydrate these in some stock, make a sort of mushroom stock, add the onions and garlic back into it, reduce it down, stick in a bit of cream, and it should be great for the pheasant legs. So the way to rehydrate this is, get this back on. Bit of water in the pan. Now we'll just break these up. Pop them in there. Hence why we're hiding in here. It's getting a bit windy out there. So equal amount, birch boletes, oysters, and they're proper dry. You know, they'll last for years. You just break them up and throw them back in.
How did you dry them?
A dehydrator. We invested in a dehydrator a couple of weeks ago, and it works an absolute treat. The boletes, they were just air dried. They dry quite easily. Just left on the rack in a warm place. The oysters were holding a little bit of water, so they needed the dehydrator. But I'm hoping this will work. I can't see why it won't. So it's a mushroom cream sort of sauce we're looking for here.
White wine?
We should have had white wine, but yeah. We'll need to do without it. Right, so that fire's starting to look quite good. Burned down nicely. There's a fair bit of heat coming off it. We don't want it scalding hot because these are just being reheated really. But these are the confit pheasant legs. And we'll just whack these on here to be seared. And then what I think we'll do is we'll add them to the sauce and let them soak up that sauce and that cream. But I'm just gonna warm up on there, and then we'll get the breasts on as well. We'll just pan fry them. Smoke's getting in my eyes a little bit. So these mushrooms have rehydrated, but when they rehydrate they swell up quite a bit and they become quite big. Maybe a little bit too big for a sauce. We'll run a knife through it, chop them up a little bit, add it back in with the garlic and the onions. This weather is just making this really, really difficult. Our previous sort of catch and cooks have been lovely scenery and nice calm weather. This one's a bit wild. The onions and garlic. We'll get it back on the heat. And we're beginning to get there. So I'm going to thicken this up a little bit. I'm going to add a little bit more stock to it. But that sort of late roux that I'm talking about is basically butter and flour that you would add at the beginning of a sauce if you were to do it French style. I'm definitely not doing it French style. And that way when we add a little bit of sort of cream or a little bit more stock, it'll be a nice thick consistency, hopefully. I'm just going to stir that in. It forms a kind of paste. But yeah, if you were to do this properly, the butter and the flour would be added at the beginning to make a roux. And I'm just going to go and turn those pheasant legs. I can smell them burning away there.
Look at that.
So we're getting there. The wind's getting mental, the rods going off everywhere, the winds are knocking the rods off the stands, it's just getting a bit mad. But we're getting here. So I've taken the meat off the legs, and you can see here the tendons that we were talking about the other day. If that was left in the meat, it would be horrible. It would be horrible. So you take it all off the bone, and you're left with this. And then what we'll do is we'll add this back into the sauce, and let it sit and soak in the sauce for a little bit. All we're looking to do is get rid of this yellowy fat. That's not very, very tasty. At this point, you can get rid of the skin if you want to, and we just break it all up, strip it up. Flakes up, strips up. And it's fairly tasty. Still a little bit dry. I think it's impossible to stop it drying out because pheasant is a really lean bird. But hopefully sticking it back in the sauce will help with that. Right, so there we go. Pheasant leg meat. We'll take it over, simmer it in the sauce, add some cream, and we're nearly there. So we go, sauce back on. Get that leg meat in there. Add a little touch more water to that. And then get the cream in at the last minute. There we go. I need a bit of cream into that. That's the sauce. We'll let that sit. Take that off of there actually. Pop that down here. There's seasoned these breasts. Let's get them on. There we go. Let that sizzle. So we'll need to rest these once they're cooked. That'll give us time to get the mash on, heat up the potatoes, and then finally we can eat. Right, just about to bring this all together, hopefully. But as always, need a little bit of herbage. So a little bit of flat leaf parsley, just about good. It's getting to its end of its season. So we'll go like that in there. Take that off the heat there. So swede, kale mash, pheasant in a creamy mushroom sauce, and hopefully we just stay there. Pan fried pheasant breast,
Or chicken as you were calling it.
chicken breast, right? And I can get this off without burning my fingers.
They smell amazing.
Some Parmentier potatoes, like get them on a plate and get it eaten. That was hard work. A lot of winds, a lot of weather, it's awkward in the bivvy and the rods are going, but we've lunch. Thankfully, we have lunch. Pan fried pheasant, confit pheasant leg, swede and kale mash, and Parmentier rosemary potatoes. We got there in the end. Don't ask me about the plates, they're not mine.
Or mine. So as always, I get the first mouthful when Alex cooks, but it's genuinely him that I side doing the cooking, so. Honestly, it smells amazing. I know I say this every time, but
Yeah, there's always going to be a bit of that.
and then you try another bit. Aye. The mushroom I got there I wasn't sure about, but now I remember what they taste like and they're nice. Sorry, but I'm going to use my fingers for a bit of the breast.
A bit of the breast? Bloody hell.
Right, excuse me, I'll go and finish this off.
Better head shakes there.
See the big head shakes? Well, I'm going to be brutally honest. We have filmed now, I think this is our 4th pike session, which should have really been like 2 or 4 Essex diaries, vlog entries, if you will. But I don't like going fishing blanking, and nobody really likes to watch people fish blanking. But with that said, I'm going to stick to our guns about trying not to be showboaters in a way. Like, just stick to the fact that this is the reality of fishing sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't go your way. I don't know if this is a run, I think it's just the wind. I don't know, I'll hit it anyway, right? I think it's took me into some weed, and I'm dragging in a bit of branch as well.
Yeah, I think fish or not, I think it's fish, isn't it?
There's a head knock there. I don't know what's happened here. I felt a head knock. Aye.
Net.
I don't know what's going on here, Al. I don't know whether it's the run it took it into weed, or I'm bringing in a branch at the same time as the fish, because it's, if that's a fish, it's got a bit of a bend in the rod. I think it's a fish and I've picked up a branch. There's been a couple of head shakes when you're making the net. See, what is going on here? I think it's swam into a branch. Or it's a massive piece of weed as well. Or I'm going to look like an absolute fool. And there's nothing here. Is there a fish and weed there? There's a big branch in it. I knew there was something wrong with that. That was definitely, a fish was on that, and it swam into that branch and made good its escape. Got a wee drop back going on here, just as we're packing up. nothing there. That last bait, it's gone. Think that was a fish? Tells if you tighten your drag up for your reeled in than that. Dafty. He reckons he can get all that back to the car without me carrying anything. And if he does, there'll be a 4-pack of beers on it for him. Because there ain't no way I'm walking back for a pike trip no carrying anything. It's unheard of. Let's see how this goes.